Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to your essay writing and presentation skills class. Now we are in a way on our road to discuss our presentation skills. In the previous lecture, as you can very well see on the slide, we have discussed the three-stage process of how to develop and how to create one good presentation. We also discussed that how to be clear about the purpose of your presentation. We also discussed some of the techniques that how you can make your presentation good by rehearsing it well, by maintaining the eye contact and be comfortable. We also discussed that you are supposed to follow the PowerPoint creation tips and tricks to make one presentation look very good. Then you are going to provide the appropriate amount of information in the time allocated. So this time management is very important when you talk about the presenting something in front of your audience or on the stage. Then handling the question answers confidently is another thing that we have discussed, that how you can handle your question answers while you want to make your presentations look and sound beautiful for your audience. To move on and to begin with, today we are to start our lecture number 3, in which we are going to discuss some of the tips of your presentation skills. We are to discuss some of the tips that can make your presentation look good and people will love it once you deliver your presentation in front of them. So giving presentation is not a big deal. I told you in the previous lecture that you are supposed to keep in mind that you were not born a presenter. Now that you are in a process of learning about that how to make one good presentation and how to deliver one good presentation, you can become one good presenter. So don't worry about that and don't panic. Your fears should be gone, because you are to relax, because I am here to support you and I am here to guide you and I am here to share with you that how to deliver your presentations effectively. As you would have seen that and you would have learned from the passage of time from the very first lecture, that I kept telling you that this communication has something to do with your communication. This presentation has something to do with your communication. Now this communication of yours revolves around the language that you use, and it also revolves around your non-verbal and your verbal poles, the two poles of verbal and non-verbal communication, which you are supposed to keep in mind when you make your presentation. Now your verbal communication has something to do with your voice, your words, your language, the choice of language that you are using, and your non-verbal has something to do with your hand movements, with your facial expressions, with your eye contact, and so on and so forth. So you are going to make sure that you are going to stick to or follow all those things that come under verbal and non-verbal communication that we are going to discuss in our upcoming lectures in detail also, as to make sure that you are not going to digress from any point that can degrade the attention of your audience. So to begin with our lecture number 23, there are some tips for your presentation skills that can make you a very good presenter. So to begin with, let's begin with the introduction, that what exactly presentation skills are and how you are supposed to deliver them in front of the audience. So first of all, let's see that how you define presentation skills. In either 1 or 2 day format, participants will secure the skill base to speak before groups of any size with poise and confidence they might never have thought possible. So maybe in your life or maybe in your routine life, you are supposed to face a group of people to speak confidently in front of them, to utter or to convey your point of view to them. Now in this situation, since you become the only focal person or you become the solo speaker of the whole situation, you become the good presenter, or you become one of the presenters of the situation, in other words. Audience comprehension soars because presenter learns to deliver content with technique that both inspire and entertain. So you are supposed to remember that you are supposed to stick to, and you are supposed to tingle to your audience attention and your audience comprehension, that they are comprehending whatever you are saying, because you are to convey your point of view to your audience, and you are to entertain them also. So in other words, you can say that this presentation skill has something to do, this presentation should be fun for your audience as well as it should be fun for you. So that was the introduction of how do you define the presentation skills. Now moving on to the next slide, now let's talk about the agenda of today's lecture, that what are the things that we are going to focus on while you prepare yourself for a good presentation. Now today we are going to focus on a few things that you can very well see on the slide. The number one is the delivery of presentation. The second one is the presentation content, that we will discuss that what kind of a content you are supposed to insert in your presentation as to make sure that the audience is comprehending it well. The presentation design, that what design you should or what type of design you should adopt for your presentation, then how you can handle the question and answers, and finally the proper use of humor in your presentation. Along with that, we will also discuss in detail, I will also show you a video clip that will help you summarize everything that we are going to discuss today. So to begin with, let's first of all start with the delivery of presentation, that how you are supposed to deliver the presentation. Before moving on to that, we discuss the whole agenda of today's lecture. Let me discuss the learning objectives, that what you will be able to achieve after we are to do with, or after we are done with this today's lecture number 23. Now you will be able to know how to feel confident to stand and deliver before any size group. Now first thing that you will be confident to do after learning about this presentation is that you will be able to stand in front of that group of people confidently to whom you are trying to deliver the presentation to. Then use your eye contact, gestures and body language for the maximum effect. So if you see, if the voice is coming and you cannot see the person, maybe the message is not being delivered to you properly. But the combination of your non-verbal and your verbal discussion or your communication leads to the very active message that is being understood and that is being comprehended by your audience. Then develop and organize a presentation for any audience and for any event. So you would be able to develop one presentation and then organize one presentation to be delivered in front of your group of people in front of you are going to deliver that too. Then design visuals to enhance both presenters' message and performance. So as I said yesterday as well in our previous lecture, that how these audio visual aids or visual aids can be very beneficial for your audience to see that how they can benefit from them. So these visuals should be used, all the visuals, all the things that you are inserting in your presentation should be relevant and up to the date. As I'll show you some of the videos, one video today by the end of the lecture, and we will see that how the whole information is being listed down in that one video. Then deliver visual information in a way that keeps the audience in sync. Handle tough questions. Master memorization techniques. Now you would be able to master these memorization techniques, that you are not going to forget anything in front of the audience. And then we said that you are going to able to handle the tough questions whatsoever it is. Once you have this topic command and once you know that what you are talking about, you will be able to answer or satisfy the queries of your audience. Then use humor effectively. Now humor is one element that should be there when you are talking about presentation skills, because if your presentation is flat, it will look dull and boring. If you are not interested, it gives an impression that you are not yourself interested in presenting the subject that you are presenting, and as it will not be a fun fun for you, it will not be a fun for your audience. So make it interesting by inserting in humor in it. So in today's lecture we will learn that how to insert and how to pour in humor in your presentation skills. Now the first thing that we are going to discuss is the delivery of presentation. We are going to focus on that how to deliver your presentation in front of the audience. So to move on with, let's see that what is the step number 1 for delivery that you are supposed to do to deliver your active presentations. Speaking before a group. Once you are asked to present, the number 1 fear that comes in your mind is, this is the human fear, that you are kind of hesitant to convey your ideas in front of the group, or maybe the number of people who are sitting right in front of you. You see, when you for the first time when you go in the class, or the first week when you go in the class, you are kind of hesitant in talking to the new people. When you go in the market and you are being, you do not talk to the strangers and you do not talk to them. Sometimes it happens that you are hesitant in conveying your idea publicly. So this fear of talking to the larger number of group is always there with you when we talk about the presentation skills. So this is the most common human fear, so you are not to worry about. You can feel nervous and there can be uneasiness that fear creates. So you can sometimes you can feel nausea, you can feel lethargic, you can feel exhausted. Now there is a kind of uneasiness in your behavior once you plan for speaking out in front of a group. So for the delivery of the presentation, this is the most common human fear that is there in front of everyone. Whatever age you reach or whatever age limit you are in, maybe you are in your late 50s or maybe you are in your early 20s, this stage fear is always there. Only kids is that kind of a breed who are not afraid of speaking in front of a group of people. But yet there are differences in the kids also. There are a few kids who feel hesitant to speak in front of the audience, yet there are others who never feel shy to deliver their thoughts in front of the audience, or in front of the group of people who are sitting there and they are listening to you. Now imagine that you are the center of attention and everyone is looking at you, that when are you going to begin speaking about something that you have to tell them. Now see what would happen to you. Of course there will be a lot of nervousness. Maybe your hands are shaky and your cheeks are blushing and you are feeling nausea, or maybe you are fearing more than death, that you will die before you utter any word. So there is kind of uneasiness before you actually plan to deliver your presentation in front of the audience. Although speaking to a group is reported to be number 1 human fear, the truth is a bit more nuanced. Participants only believe they fear public speaking because their most common behaviors when in the spotlight produce exactly the same physiological responses as when they are generally facing a life-threatening event. Now see, let's try to note down the words which are of our center of attention while we try to elaborate this paragraph for you. Now see, most of the participants or most of the people whom the ones who have been asked that why do you fear so much when you are supposed to deliver a presentation, they mostly say that they fear once they are spotlighted. So your physical conditions, that your legs are shaking, your hands are shaking, your cheeks are blushing, and your ears they are warm, and maybe your hair, they are woody and sticky, they automatically become, because you are fearing so much that you don't know that what to do in that situation. Now this physical responses are related to your mental responses that is there, because they are sending those messages to your body that you are nervous, you are feeling uneasy, and you are feeling this fear is there. You will learn to take command of your audience by challenging your nervous energy into a dynamic presentation skills if you stick to all the rules that I'm going to share with you. So do you want to become one dynamic presenter? Yes, you want to. I'm sure that you want to, and you want to secure good marks in your exams, because presentation is that chunk that carries some marks, the proper 15% weightage in your essay writing and presentation skills class exam. So make sure that you are going to learn everything that I'm going to tell you in the presentation. Maybe the topics are being assigned to you by your teacher, or maybe the topics that you are going to present on are being selected by yourself. Whatever the case is, you are going to make sure that you are not going to feel this fear. Why? Because presentation is not something that you were born with. Now you are in a process of learning that how to deliver one good presentation. If you know all the tips that I'm going to share with you while you try to make one good presentation, and if you know that how to deliver that in front of the audience, definitely you would be able to produce one good presentation, and you would become the loveliest presenter for all. So let's move on to the next slide and see that what you are supposed to do while you actually are in a stage or are on a stage to deliver your presentation in front of the audience. When a presenter feels confident, a confident audience feel more comfortable. Now, if the presenter, that's up to the presenter, that how he portrays himself in front of the audiences, the group of people who is sitting right in front of him, to comprehend each and everything that he is talking about. So, in other words, you can say that, for example, if I am the presenter and I am presenting right in front of you, and I start saying that today my topic of presentation is I forgot, sorry, let me look back at the slide and tell you that what is my topic. So I look so nervous and so uneasy, and if there is something clutching in my throat, let's say if I start my presentation like this. Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Anila Noshin, and I am going to present on so and so topic. See, these kind of things can be they are not going to appeal to your audience, because they are producing such kind of impressions, or they are giving such vibes to your audience that you are not comfortable and you are not confident about what you are going to present. So to begin with, once you start actually delivering your presentation, you should sound confident. Remember, in the previous lecture I told you that you are supposed to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath before you actually start or saying any word. Now see that I have taken one breath and I am coming with the this flood of words that is coming, and that was in my brain, and I am communicating them to you through a proper language. Now you see, this language is very important when you actually plan on delivering the presentation in front of the audience. Now how? Because the collection of the words that you are using to deliver your presentation in front of the audience becomes one of the very interesting parts, because mostly there are the cases being seen where people while sitting in a very business-like environment, and the presenter, he starts speaking in Urdu. Now Urdu, although is our own language, but the official communication, the business communication being done is usually in the English skills. So to begin with, even if you are not finding any word out in the English language to be translated in Urdu, try to see that you use this bilingualism technique in your presentation skills, as to make sure that you are not going to full-fledged rely on only one language, that is Urdu, because this is the modern life, and English is our official communication language. So we are going to make sure that you achieve that level of proficiency in English while you are standing on a stage and while you actually want to deliver your presentation. Now you must be wondering that how to speak. Now all of us are not alike, and we cannot speak good English. So the thumb rule is that what you are going to do, if you are being asked to speak English, that you prepare well. That doesn't have anything to do with cramming. Try to use those simple simple words that you know the meaning of, and try to stick to them. Try to elaborate those points being written in the bullets on your slide in your own words, which are easy and which are understandable, and which you are not hesitant to make the grammatical structure for. So coming back to our delivery, if you feel confident, if you are confidently standing on the stage, the audience will be comfortable, and that is going to give you room for providing the information, and this is going to become one conducive environment for persuasion. Now this environment or this atmosphere thing is really important when we talk about the delivery. So the first thing that you are doing is to feel confident. You would feel confident about your topic because you are already so much prepared. You are so much prepared about your topic that you feel so much confident, and you want to deliver it in front of the audience with full devotion and with full confidence. In other words, whenever the brain senses a potential threat, in the case of one person speaking to a group, it's the one against many scenario, the body responds with the same chemical preparations to deal with the threat as it does when one experiences a blowout at 70 mph. Now, relating back to the previous slide in which we were saying that how your bodily functions start reacting once you are feeling this fear. So you are not going to feel this fear because this is a human behavior that's in your behavior, that your body, it automatically starts giving responses to what is going to happen to you, because the brain or mind, it sends signals to our body that how to react. When you are thirsty, you pick up a glass and you pour in a water and you drink, because your mind is telling you, or the mind is sending you the signals that you are to do so. So your bodily functions, they move accordingly, because this is all your human behavior. So you are not to worry about that. The first thumb rule that I have told you that you should feel confident. You would only feel confident about your topic once you have attained that command of on your topic, as well as you know that how to handle your audiences sitting right in front of you. Now, by simply changing a few of these wrongly taught behaviors, participants discover they can completely change their body response. With very little practice, the fear is first lessened and then it is gone. So you are here to practice the presentation skills. Now with this little practice, first of all, this fear will be lessened. First it will be lessened, and then it will be gone forever. So there is no self hypnosis, no fuzzy or neuro reprogramming, or no reliance on the positive thinking. There is only one thing that you are supposed to do, that is practice while you actually want to become a good presenter. The process that takes participants from poor to average to expert is one of the simply involves modifying 3 things that they have done since this first stand-up book report in grade school. Now remember when you were a small kid, your teacher, she called you out and she said that come stand here right in front of the whole class, and then deliver and then read out this chapter or read out this poem for everyone. And you did that without any fear. Now what was that fear? That fear was related to your behavior, because somehow you have learned that presenting in front of the audience is something that you should fear of. Now this humanly behavior should be avoided to make sure that you from the poor you learn from the poor presenter. Being a poor presenter, you become an average and then you become an expert. So we are in a process of making you an expert for the presentation. So stick to whatever I'm saying and I'm trying to tell you. So your delivery counts most once you come on the stage and once you try to deliver your argument in front of the audience. Remember, your delivery is your number one fear, because you don't know how to start your presentation. I've told you that you should begin your presentation confidently, because your opening matters more than what you are to deliver in your presentation. Now let's talk about the presentation content, that how you can make your presentation content look interesting and good for the comprehension of your audience. Now let's try to read that out. Your content, the bottom line is that listeners don't care what you do. They care about what you can do for them. Now, whatever you are doing and how much fearful you are, they only care, your audience will only care that what you can do for them, because they are more interested in, they are not interested in, for example, you are presenting any idea in front of them. They are not interested in that you have done so. They are more interested in that why you have done that for them. So try to answer their query, that what is there for them and why should they be interested in listening to you for such a longer period of time. Participants learn to talk in terms of results, feelings, benefits, outcomes and ideas. So they would look for the results that they can comprehend after the presentation. They will also the presentation should appeal to their feelings also, that they should feel something about your presentation. What are the benefits for them, what are the outcomes for them. So this is the best idea before you actually start your presentation, as I did today, that you are supposed to tell them the learning outcomes before you actually start your presentation, because they will get to know that why should they sit for such a long period and listen to you, because you have told them the learning outcomes which will be achieved while you present on your topic. They learn to imagine audience members with signs on their foreheads that read, "So what? What's in it for me?" So you see, if you are standing on the stage and if you start looking at different audiences who are sitting right in front of you, and if you start looking on their faces will question you. Now this non-verbal behavior is something that almost kills you when you are standing on the stage. Sometimes if the audience makes up such impressions that they are not understanding anything, and if they give you this impression through their facial expression that they are not interested in what you are talking about, you feel very down and you don't feel motivated to present your topic. Why? Because sometimes you do not grab, or you do not gather their attention, or you do not bring their attention towards your topic. Now how to do that? You should make that interesting, and you should tell them in the beginning about what they are going to learn about through your presentation. Thus time is thus allotted to the content, relevancy and organization of the presentation. So you are supposed to focus on, for that you are supposed to focus on the content, the relevant material and the organization of your presentation, so that you can deliver your presentation in front of the audience fully and completely, and they don't make faces at you that they are not learning anything. So your presentation will tell them through its content that what is there for your audience clearly. Now the number 3 thing that we are going to discuss today is the presentation design. Now see that we also examine how a computer-based presentation have become more the norm than a novelty. Audiences are often overwhelmed with poorly developed productions. So you see, these computer-based or these PowerPoint presentations are becoming more and more popular every day, because you have margin of designing more and more in your PowerPoint presentations, instead of presenting them in the poor ways. Maybe if you are being given the presentation and you are presenting only presenting it through one chart, or maybe you are writing on the board. Now presentation skills are somewhat different from your lecture method or the way you deliver your speeches. Presentation is something that you are supposed to deliver in front of the audience with the help of any medium that is presentable. Now, as a part of presentation design module, participants realize the importance of proper delivery of visual information. Now if you are designing your presentation, make sure that the visuals are there once you try to communicate or once you try to deliver one point to your audience. Understand how the brain processes visual input. Now you should understand before you make your participants understand, before you make your audience understand, that how these visuals are giving you one thought, or how these visuals are related or relevant to whatever you are saying. Comprehend, simplifying, how less is more. So sometimes the presentation design helps your reader understand that how less is more. So how in a very short how by just simply showing them one visual you can tell them about so many things. Gain control of audience attention through layout and timing. So you are going to make sure that whenever you are going to design your presentation, you are going to lay it out in front of the audience in such a way that is going to save your time as well as theirs. Discover 10 techniques to guarantee that presenter and audience are involved. So now try to brainstorm and try to see that what can be those possible 10 techniques which can be kept in mind to see that you and your audience are involved in the presentation. So think twice before you actually start designing your presentation. I will share with you some of the techniques that how you can make your presentation style or presentation fonts, presentation outlay or layout look good in front of the audience, and how you can insert in the best visuals for your in your presentations. Now handling question answers is another thing that is supposed to be kept in mind while you plan for making down one good presentation. Now talking about it, sometimes the prepared presentation is only a prelude to real program, the question and answer session. Now this question and answer session is more important because once you are done with, once you have allocated 20 minutes for your presentation and 5 minutes for the question answers, or maybe the 10 minutes for question answers, you must make sure that your question answer session is going to give a prelude to the real program of your presentation. So depending on the firms needed, up to 1/4 of classroom time can be scheduled for the question answer processes. So as I said that if you are giving 75% of the time for your delivery of presentation, try to save 25% of the time for your question answer session. To enhance the relevancy of this module, participants prepare and trade questions that they would actually encounter in their real business environment. So you are supposed to look at your presentation from every possible point of view, from where the questions can come in the minds of reader, and they can focus on, then they can deliver one, or they can ask for questions from you. Now moving on to the next slide, through questions and answers, the participants learn how to ask questions and properly address the questioner. Now you will learn that how to answer these questions or how to handle these questions while you are trying to satisfy the query of your audience. How to listen for the real question. Now that you are standing in such a situation where there are a lot of participants focusing on you, and they are looking forward to what you have to deliver to them, you are going to make sure that you try to handle those questions which look relevant to you, and you are going to handle them smartly. If there is any irrelevant question that is not related to your topic, try to ignore, don't try to tell them that don't try to answer them, just simply tell them on the spot that this is, I don't feel it related to what I have been delivering. Please rephrase your question, or maybe I am wrong to listen to you, or something like that. But do not shun them, or do not try to ban or try to snub them, because sometimes the audience, they are looking forward to the answers from you. How to neutralize negative questions. So this is how, if there is any negative question being asked from you related to your topic, now see that questions whatsoever would be coming to you won't be related to you, and if there is any question that is related to you, don't try to answer it. Just simply tell them that I would appreciate that if you stick to the topic that I have presented. Just say it in a very polite way, so that they get to know that you are not interested in telling them about yourself. There are some presenters who feel it very good once people ask them different questions about their personality and their grooming, but there are yet other speakers who are not comfortable. So don't try to stop them. Try to neutralize the negative questions and try to avoid them on the spot. How to deliver and format the answer to the entire group. Now one more thing that you are supposed to keep in mind while answering the questions of your audience. Keep in mind that if there is one person who has asked you the question, you are not going to only answer him. You are going to satisfy and you are going to address to the whole group which is sitting right in front of you. To do so, you are supposed to keep eye contact with everyone, and your major eye contact will be with the person who has asked you the question. Now, how to tie the answer back to the content of the original presentation. Now, for every question that your audience is asking you, you are going to bring them back to the presentation. Now, remember, I told you the ground rule that to make sure that all your questions are related to your presentation. Just try to make sure that you tell them the ground rules in the beginning, and in those ground rules, you are going to tell them that if they have any questions or if they have any queries related to the presentation, they can ask you by the end of the presentation. For to do so, they are supposed to keep the track of the page numbers or the slide numbers which are written there in your presentation. So to do so, you are supposed to insert the page numbers well in your presentation, as to see that how you can bring them back to the actual topic of your presentation or your original presentation. How to deal with the unexpected contingencies. Now, there can be some unexpected flaws or unexpected situations where people might flood up you with a lot of questions, or there can be other situations where people will not ask you a single question. So you are going to see and you are going to mentally be prepared that if there are going to be a lot of questions, so in how much time I will satisfy their queries. So you would have to see that if there are 10 questions coming in 10 minutes, so how much time you have to give to every answer. So you have to be very, very precise, very, very concise, yet you are supposed to be very clear while you try to appeal to the comprehension of your audience's knowledge. So that was all about your question answer sessions. I hope that you have learned that how to answer question answers for how to answer the questions of your audiences, because you are supposed to stick to only the presentation content that is there in front of your audience, because if you are not going to do so, your audience might drag or might take your attention somewhere else. So try to avoid the personal questions. Try to make your presentation look more formal and behave more formal in front of the audience, so that they cannot talk to you or they cannot challenge your capabilities and confidence in front of everyone by asking you irrelevant questions or by making fun of you. So you are not going to let anyone make fun of you, because since you know and since you have all the command on your topic, you are going to handle your topic well, and then you are going to deliver your presentation more effectively. Now, the last thing that we are going to discuss before we move on to the summary and before I show you one good presentation of one good presentation model that is going to summarize what we have what we have discussed today. There is another thing, the use of humor in your presentation. Now, if your presentation is dull, flat and boring, your participant will not be interested in you. If you look so dull and so tired, and if you are not inserting in any humor in your presentation, your participants will not be involved because they want to look at someone who looks interesting. At the same time, he or she is presenting something really interesting. So how you can use humor in your presentation? There is an excess of advice on using humor in presentations out there, and most if it is just plain wrong. Improper use of humor can trip up even the most seasoned presenters. Now you are going to make sure that a proper kind of humor is there. Now if you start involving your, for example, you tell them about any story that is about your life that you feel is kind of humorous and funny, that can be shared with the audience, but that is not related to your topic, so sometimes it can affect your presentation, and sometimes it can be of a very bad idea about your presentation. Instead, participants will come away knowing that when and when not to use humor in the presentation. So you are going to see that when and when not to use this humor thing in your presentation, because sometimes your audience are not very much appealed with how you use humor in your presentation. So your humor should be related to your presentation. You should know if your audience are getting dull and boring, and they are yawning sometimes, and you feel that they are not actively listening to you. So try to insert in some humor so that, or try to see that how you can grab their attention towards the presentation again. So to do so, try to mingle up with the audiences before actually you start your presentation. Try to learn their names, and if you find people yawning during the presentation, or if you don't find people listening to you, or they are talking to each other, you can directly call them from their name, and you can tell them that I would appreciate if you listen to my debate first, then we are going to have your debate to be listened later. So you can sarcastically or ironically, you are supposed to move very with this good balance of sarcasm and humor. What type of humor to use and what to avoid? So you are going to see that what kind of a humor. This should not be a childish kind of a humor in your presentation, during your delivery, because that is not going to appeal to the logic or appeal to the sense of your audience. How to use humor effectively even if you are not funny? So there are people who are very serious by nature, and even though those people, they are supposed to insert an important humor in their presentations once they are presenting something in front of the audience, because sometimes humor is effective technique for making your presentations look interesting, and even if you are not a very funny person, you should at least you should sound humorous for your audiences. So bringing in or pouring in the right kind of a humor in your presentation is more important than anything else in the whole world. Now let's see that what methodology you should adopt for your presentations. Methodology follows the three terms: self-realization, participation, and process improvement. Now these are three things that you are supposed to keep in mind, which revolve around the methodology, the overall methodology of your presentation. Self-realization: you should realize that who you are and what you are presenting. So this self-realization is very important. Sometimes you forget about yourself while presenting, and you so much focus on the topic that sometimes you forget that you are presenting why. So this why is very important. Like, just to give you an example, the managers of different companies, they go to other companies as the representative of one company A. For example, this is company A and this is company B. Now this manager of company A is going to company B to present or to talk about, or to make the employees of company B get aware of the product that they have recently launched. Maybe that's a laptop. Now that member A or that manager A of company or organization A once will go to the company B, will become the representative of company A. Now this is your role model and this is your responsibility. This is your realization. This is your actual self-realization that you are the representative of organization A who is going to go to organization B to support that or to launch that or to market that product, that is laptop, for the employees of company B. Now this self realization is very important. You should not get into the foots of or get into the shoes of those people. Like, let's say you start once you have reached company B, you start thinking that the product is your authority and the product is all your property and you are the owner. No, you are the representative of the company and you should keep on telling them this realistic fact that you have come there on the behalf of your company. So this is how you can self-realize that why you are presenting on the stage. Then participation, of course you are the active presenter, you are presenting, your participation is there, but try to make sure that you involve and you try to bring in the participation of your audience also. Try to ask them questions, try to invite their participation while you try to make your presentation look more successful. This is another method that can be used for making your presentation look good. Then process improvement, how you can improve the process of your presentation by making your audience think that your product is more interesting than anyone else. So this is how you can introduce them well, you can present them the content well, and in the end you can conclude your presentation well, so that you can try to, or you can solve their queries if there are any. So that was the methodology. Now let's talk about each one of them in detail, and let's try to see that how these things are related. Sessions begin with establishing a current competency. Based on the client preference, we include videotape. As skills are learned, participants expand their self-realization through peer review in addition to coaching by instructors. Now that you have realized that why are you standing or why are you delivering on the stage, there is another thing that you are supposed to remember is that you can actually see, or you can actually realize yourself if you listen to the peer review sometimes. For example, if there are friends of yours sitting in the presentation, or if you are delivering the presentation in front of your teacher and your instructor, you can ask them for the feedback later that how successful you were in presenting your topic, because this is going to help you actually realize that what point you stand on and how much you have to work more to make your presentation look different and interesting. Your participation includes demonstrations by instructors of the required behavior. The majority of presentation time is given to the participants actually performing the techniques required for proper presenting. So your participation, as well as during the training process, your participation is very important, and while you are actually practicing it, that is also very important because you want to deliver the best presentations. The skills to becoming a persuasive and effective presenter are broken down into different steps that can be easily absorbed at each step. So you are going to listen to each and every process step that is there to become one good presenter, and to achieve that level of moving from poor to normal, average, and then to the expert presenter. Now moving on to the next slide, how the participants will benefit. Now how the participants will benefit from everything that we have discussed in today's lecture. Let's first recap the delivery method, that the delivery thing that we have discussed during our lecture. The first thing, in learning the skills to present ideas before a group in a persuasive fashion, participants both gain confidence in themselves and better forward to the organization's mission. Now, before you actually start to persuade the attention of your reader by feeling confident, you can pour in the confidence in yourself also. Participants gain self-realization through overcoming the most common human fear. Now, you realize that what is your reality. You are not a meek man. You are one confident person who was sent to this world to do something, and you should realize that what you can do other than just eating and sleeping and reading. Employees become better all around communicators. So everyone or anyone, including employees and students and anyone who is interested in learning something, through your confidential or through your confidence of delivery, you can become one good communicator and one good presenter. Now, about the content, gaining the skill to develop presentations that inspire and persuade transforms into a better business writing, organizational skills. Now, let's see that what kind of a content you make to learn while you actually practice it, report generation and knowledge transfer outside the presentation process. So how you are going to best present the content that you know and you are going to deliver it to your audience. Now, everything is not written on the slides to be presented in front of the audience. There are a few things which count more than which are there in your brain, and you don't write them on the slides, yet you have the margin of speaking out in front of the audience to tell them that how much command do you have about that topic. Now, about the presentation visuals, participants gain an understanding of how simplifying ideas can increase the comprehension. So your participants, if you are going to insert the proper visuals in your presentation, your participants will get to learn that how simplifying ideas can increase comprehension, how new concepts need to be introduced in the elementary form, and how these precepts apply to all aspects of their job. So this is how you can target to, or you can value to their audience by inserting in the right kind of visuals. Now, question and answer. Participants learn the art of listening, and through listening and appreciation of diversity of learning styles. Now, your participants, once you are going to tell them the ground rule that they are supposed to listen to you carefully for the question answers to be taken by the end of the lecture, what you can do is that your participants will listen this art of listening. Cooperation and understanding between co-workers is enhanced as participations discover other points of view. Participants learn how to develop positive responses to potentially negative situations. Now, you would understand that how to develop the positive response to the potentially negative situations in a very beautiful way. So you have learned that how to handle the question answers, the negative questions being asked, and how you are going to handle them properly in your presentation. So that brings us to the end of today's lecture. As you see the example, I will tell you that how to stick to all the tips that we have discussed in today's presentation. Now, let's see this example, and let's after that, let's say goodbye to each other. Now, let's see that. Tips for making an effective PowerPoint presentation. Designing PowerPoint slides. Tips for making your PowerPoint more effective as well as attractive. Keep text simple and consistent. That is urgent. Find creative ways to reduce details. Put some of the details in handouts, hidden slides, or links to websites, or create a written document. Decide how many slides to include. A loose guideline is right in front of you, depending on how much details on slides and how much discussion on each slide. Decide what to include. You won't be able to include everything, so be selective. Use colors deliberately. Colors have an emotional impact, so choose colors that create the desired tone. Other than photos, don't use too many. Use design elements. Allow white space. Don't overdo fancy effects. Know your equipment. Practice well enough so that there is no distraction. Prepare to deliver. Practice out loud in front of a small audience. Practice not looking at your slides much. Reduce text. If there is too much text, you know you are going to read out. Use graphical layouts. Graphs and diagrams helps easy illustrations. Avoid bullets on every slide. Too linear, too wordy, too boring, too predictable promotes reading the slides and promotes reading ahead. Make a poor handout or document. Avoid clip art in your slides. That's the best idea. Find or take photos instead of inserting in the clip art techniques. Here is to your success in making your presentation effective and attractive. So that was all for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's lecture and you have learned that how to make one good presentation and how to make one good edited presentation, and I hope that you are going to follow all the tips that we have discussed during our whole lesson. Now that you have learned that how to use humor, how to use the content, how to handle the question answers, and how to actually deliver your presentation, we are in a process of making good presentations. I hope if you stick to all these points, like if you know that how to actually deliver your presentation with the confidence, if you know that what kind of content and you are supposed to insert in your presentation, for which I have also shown you one video, and if you know that how to make use of humor in your presentation, and if you know that how to handle the question answer sessions, you will be in a better position to make one good presentation. With that, I wish you a very good luck for following these steps that we have discussed today. I'll see you in the next class. Till then, take good care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.